I'm 7 months into YouTube, and I've learned so much in those 7 months, not only about how to make videos, but I've learned about the platform, I've learned about the people, and I've actually learned some things that surprised me, and I think they might surprise you too. And today I wanted to break down my income from that 6 months on YouTube. I want to share 6 things that I learned that's probably, you might feel like, yep, I see that, or you might go, I didn't know that was a possibility. So I'm just gonna get right into it and talk to you about those things, and my income will come somewhere in the middle as we get to it. The first thing I learned was about the people. And can I tell you how supportive and how amazing the people on YouTube have been? Anytime I've reached out to somebody for help, or anytime I have went through something, I have a community on school, the people are just amazing. I mean, they have supported me through the tough times. I have had deaths in my family. I have had grandbabies being born, and I have had struggles on YouTube, and they were always right there with me to support me. Not just in my comments, but like I said, also in my school community. There are also people that will try to break you down. They will not buy your affiliate links because they're afraid you might make $1. And I mean, like literally $1. And they will leave mean comments. They will be hateful. But I've always been this way where, I just don't give any credence to those comments because I know they come from a place of either jealousy or ignorance because they don't know me. And I just don't give them space in my brain to operate. I look at the comment, I move on because they're not important. They're not my people, and they're not your people. So I don't want you to ever get caught up in your negative comments. Now, if you're out there posting negative stuff, you ask for it. But if you're just trying to make videos and you're trying to help people, just remember that you are helping somebody. And if they don't want to listen, you don't need them. Just don't give them any space in your brain. They're not worth it. And the second thing that I learned is that YouTube makes no sense sometimes. And people ask me about this all the time. How come there are people out there that don't even make a thumbnail and their title says something like #450 and their video goes nuts? I don't know. It's just very random. YouTube does have an algorithm, but sometimes it acts a little bit weird. So I have to say that to say, I don't have all the answers. I don't know why your video don't go. When I know that you put in the hard work, when I know that you've done great titles and great thumbnails, and sometimes it just sits there. It happens to me too. It makes no sense. But what I do know is that if I keep showing up, and if I keep doing the right things, eventually something good is gonna happen. And I did have a video that popped off. And I do feel like the reason that video popped off was because the thumbnail was good, it correlated perfectly with the title, and everything just was right about that video. It created a little bit of controversy, so the comments went wild. But you can't sit and think about the video you posted last week. You can look at it, kind of analyze it a little bit and go, okay, what went wrong? What could I have done better? But you got to move on from it. Don't dwell on it. Keep making great videos. All right, lesson number 3 is your shiny object syndrome. And this is so real. There are so many people on YouTube talking about, you need to make digital products, you need to make courses, you need to make ebooks. Here's how you can make $1 million. Here's how you can make $10,000 a month. And if you let all that into your brain, you will veer off on every single one of those paths trying to make it work for you. And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of watching people say, well, you could make money if you were doing this. And really, what it all comes back to for me is my path. What is my path? Who are my people? Who am I serving? And how can I best serve them? Because that's all that matters. If I'm serving my people and I'm doing my best to help them, the money will follow. If I'm giving away free content, like all of these YouTube videos, I have a free school community. I have free links in every one of my videos for people can download. And they're not just one-pagers. They're actually pages and pages of resources for people. I feel like the more I give away for free, eventually somebody will want to pay for my help and my expertise. So I would implore you, keep on your path. Stay steady. Don't look to the left and don't look to the right. Keep it focused. And if you're interested in one of those downloads, I do have it linked below. It's the YouTube Starter Guide. It's how to get from 0 to YouTube upload. There's pages and pages there. It walks you through every single step. So if you're new and that would help you out, The link's in the description. You can go download it after you watch this video. Now, lesson 4 is one that all of you are probably not going to agree with me on, but I can tell you that having the right tools makes a difference. There are a lot of YouTubers out there that will tell you that all you need is a cell phone. And yes, for the most part, that's basically true. You need a cell phone, you need a mic, and you need a tripod. But I find that for me, I need better tools. I need a better laptop. I need a teleprompter. There are just things that I need. I'm very cheap, and that probably comes from the way I grew up. I research everything I buy to death. And I can remember I was working, when I first started this YouTube channel, I was working with a MacBook from 2013. Y'all, it's 2026. So that MacBook now is 13 years old. It was super heavy, it was clunky, the software was outdated, I had files everywhere, it was a mess. And I remember one day my husband walked in with a bag from Best Buy, and he told me, he said, if you're gonna do this the right way, you need to have the tools to make it easier. And that has stuck with me ever since. Now, I probably wouldn't have went out and bought that laptop on my own until it just got to the point where I had to. But he saw that I was struggling, and that laptop has made all the difference in the world. Now, I'm not telling you to go buy a new laptop. I'm not telling you to go buy a new teleprompter. I'm telling you, if you need to make your life easier and you can afford it, find the right tools. Don't make things harder though. Don't buy all these fancy tools that you think you're gonna need. Do your research about it, because what you might find, like for me, I was trying to come up with a microphone solution, but then I realized, well, I can buy the mic, well then I gotta buy this fancy cord that's gotta go into this fancy Rodecaster thingy, and then that was gonna have to plug into my computer, which I didn't have enough ports for, so I was gonna have to have another thing to plug that into, and it just got to be like, oh, it's too much. So I have to find solutions that work for me, but I'm not afraid to spend the money to do it. And like I said, I think it goes back to my childhood when we owned an apartment complex. And I'm not talking about an apartment complex that looks like this. Ours looked more like this. It was an old motel, not a hotel, it was a motel from the 1950s, and it was made out of concrete block. My dad worked swing shifts. He worked 8 to 4, 4 to 8, and 4 to 12, and then midnight to 8 in the morning every other week, however that worked out. He was beat down, and he would have to go to those apartments, and he would have to fix things because we couldn't afford to hire a plumber or an electrician. He was not a plumber or an electrician or a carpenter. So he had to figure out how to do all those things himself, and he never really had the right tools because we couldn't afford them. And I saw him get beat down over it. And they eventually sold it because he just couldn't keep up with it. And I think seeing that from my own eyes has really made me appreciate the tools to get the job done. So I rambled a lot there, but I just wanted to say, don't feel guilty about buying tools. Just make sure they're the right ones if you can afford it, because I really believe it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, number 5 is YouTube AdSense is not a business plan. And I'm going to show you here what I made my first 6 months. Well, actually it's 7 months. This is what I've made since I started. I got monetized in late January, and you'll see here it's $1,600. I don't have it right in front of me, but I'll put it on the screen. It's a little over $1,600. Now, there's nothing wrong with this income. This is good income, but you can see here how it fluctuates. One month I make $300, the next month I make $500, the next month I make $200. That might pay for my gas right now for a month, but every little bit helps. But you don't need to rely on just AdSense. You have got to have a path of monetization if that's your goal with your channel. Come up with ways that you want to make money. How can you help your viewer? In what ways can you help your viewer? And how can you monetize it? Now, I do make money through coaching. I make money through digital products. I make money through channel audits that I do. And I make money through some sponsorships that I have and affiliate links. And here's an email I got today from my Stripe account. This is not a month's worth of money. This is just the email I got today from the last week or so. It was $1,600. That's good money. I'll take that. But that's what I'm saying. Come up with some other income streams so that you'll want to keep going. Because if you're not seeing any results from what you're doing, it's going to be really easy for you to sit down and quit. So I want you to be thinking about how you can monetize your channel other than AdSense. And number 6, I want to say, be willing to change what's not working. Be willing to pivot. If you're not enjoying your content, if it's not resonating and landing just right, be willing to try something else. If your videos aren't popping off, be willing to change the thumbnail and the title. Now, for me, I don't go back and change too many titles and thumbnails because I just don't have the time. But I have done it, and when I have done it, it has helped. Not every time, but sometimes it does. So just know that you can change anything you want at any time. You just don't want to continually change what you're doing without giving it time to work. So let's say you're into your YouTube videos for a month and you decide you want to talk about something else. Well, every bit of that 1 month of momentum that you had is absolutely gone. There's nothing wrong with making that decision, but make it once. Don't make it 10 times. Don't change every single month to do something different. Be consistent, show up for your viewer. Talk to your viewer. Find out what they need. Find out what they're wanting. And the longest time I thought that, oh, my viewers, they need to know how to do this or they need to know how to do that. When really, some of them needed to know how to turn on a camera. Some of them needed to know what editing software. So don't get caught up in what you think they need to know. Ask yourself, ask your viewer, what do they need to know? And I do this a lot in my school community. I do this on my coaching calls. When they tell me what they're struggling with, a lot of times that's when I'll come out and make a video. I'll make a video about B-roll. I'll make a video about editing that's coming out soon. Whatever they're struggling with, that's the videos I need to make. And you know, the months, when you're on YouTube, the months, maybe it's because I'm old, but the months seem to fly by. It feels like 7 months has gone by so fast. And before you know it, I'll be a year into this thing. And I can't thank you enough for how far this channel's come, because without you, I wouldn't be here doing this. You're the reason that I keep going. I want to help as many people as I can. And I hope you've gotten something really useful out of this video today. I hope it inspires you to keep creating. I hope it inspires you to buy the tools you need. I hope it inspires you to come up with a path to make money. And I hope that your day goes amazing. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.